Hello everyone. Good night, good evening. This is Cam and I'm here to bring you the very first round of the Sweet Stage and AML. Today we're gonna cover Tenebrous Esports versus ET Penumbral. Now, this is a very important series for both teams where everything is at stake here. This sweet stage is gonna last 3 weeks in total. So basically, whoever gets two victories in each series qualifies to playoff. Whoever gets two losses gets out of playoff. Gets eliminated from the league. So there's a lot at stake here for both teams, and I'm really excited for this because Penumbra managed to get they were able to get seed 5 after having like a shaky start in the Shurima group. So we're gonna be covering Penumbra throughout this qualifier stage. So I'm really excited, really high confidence in these guys. I definitely think they're gonna put on a very good show. And this is not to downplay Tenebris Esports by all means. Tenebris has had a pretty good regular season. They ended up as fourth seed in the Ionia group, but that was with a 5-2 record, 11 that's match record, and 11 to 6 game record. So these guys were actually pretty good. They were fighting until the last week for that top two spot to guarantee playoffs. So you can imagine the top four was 6-1, 6-1 for Crabs Rated and Indigo, 5-2 and 5-2 Primal Instinct and Tenebra. So really close all these teams in the standings. So it's not gonna be an easy game, that's for sure. So it looks like the guys are ready for draft, and I forgot that I have this. Oops. Wait, I didn't update the draft? Here you go. Now the draft's updated. We're seeing the Master E and the Jax being banned from TEO, and on the side of Penumbral, we got Ziggs and Seraphine. Um, from the side of TEO, the bans towards these champions make sense as for all the season Eclipse Tides have been targeted. The Jax and the Master E, they have been targeted one after the other. Um, because when they're not, then these guys will just play because they are just really good at it. Um, from the side of TEO, they have played a lot of games on the Seraphine, a lot of games on Kais, a lot of games on Zeri and Zig. So we see those two bends, and the Talia to round up for ETP, and the Kaisa to round up on this first phase for TEO. And TEO is looking to do a first ban J4, and they confirmed the J4, which is a very strong pick overall. Uh, Now, give me 1 second. Here we go. That's what. Alright, so we see here the Zeri. That's quite interesting. Just played a few games of Zeri in the league, um, but they do confirm the Zeri, which is a good champion into J4. Um, the Kha'Zix. Now I'm excited because Source Walker. Okay, they confirmed the Kha'Zix, and Source Walker has played a lot of Kha'Zix in the league, especially when in the absence of the Odir, of the Jax, of the Master E. He has, in the league so far, he is 2 for 2 with 4 total games on this Kha'Zix. And they're going for the fifth game. Really excited for what this is going to bring. And the Seaver coming in as an answer from Obsidian. If Source Walker's on champ with skill shots go next. I don't think I have seen him playing that, at least in AML so far. He's going with his standard picks, um, Mastery Palmer or Mastery Spammer. So and and the Kha'Zix is not necessarily the skill shots champion, but he does have some skill shots on that W. So let's see how many he can get. Now the Renekton come in super early. Um, I know that in pro play, there there might be a tendency of bringing like, especially if you're taking Renekton, if you're really good at it, but it's not that common to see a top pick here in the first rotation. And obviously, Will Matherfood is going for the characteristic Ornn pick that he has, and it's open and available. So they're gonna go lock in the counter, get your scaling, survive, and get like a team fight oriented comp right out of the bat as we're gonna go for the second phase bans. Now we'll see what they're going to bring. I am see oh the Nico. Interesting. I was not expecting the Nico, especially because the Keeler guy. Oh, well, so they're not in. Okay, so TEO is not in the lot. Like they are in the lot, but they're not like in position. But haven't seen Keeler guy playing the Nico at all in the league so far, and I also am not seeing many bans targeting the Nico against TEO. Just one game, Nico was banned, so a little surprised. Although Nico is a good champion overall for team fights, she synergizes well with the J4. Um, give time to Seaver and Renekton as well. Tristana ban from side of TEO. Ivis Enjoyer. So I don't. Is it Ivis? Oh, he's Silver Shakes. Okay, if Silver Shakes playing, then for sure he has a couple Tristan. He has a couple Tristana games. Um, so I do understand that the LeBlanc coming in and Ari always a good champion. And she does pretty well into J4, being able to dodge and have really high mobility. The LeBlanc is definitely a champion here for well it's a well they okay so they had the killer guy playing the last few weeks, but both killer guy and the previous mid laner Puffles MIA did play a little bit of LeBlanc, so especially last week with really good performances overall on the killer guy with that LeBlanc. Now Ellie coming in for Muffy, man. I really, really like him on these engaged champions. The Maokai as an answer, we're looking at a lot of team fight potential here. I imagine we will see a lot of fights and a lot of kills overall throughout this game. A lot of tanky, beefy boys to fight. A lot of kite back from Sivir and Zeri. Now the Silas to round up a really nice comp with big ultimates. Zeri, Ornn, and Alice are already having a good amount of ults and the potential of going even tankier with the Alistar. So really interesting from TEO. And ETP is gonna answer with what they're showing a Zir, now that is scaling the Victor, the Cassiopeia, the Oriana, looking for a scaling option to match the Silas and for team fight oriented as well. The Oriana is the selection here to combo with the Ornn with the Alistar. It's going to be really important and impactful game. I'm really excited. I love the two comps here from both teams. Um, Cassia would not be bad at all. Oriana is a little. I like the potential of team fight, but at the same time, as a mid laner, I just don't like Oriana into a Malphite and J4 because if she does not have flash, you're doomed in that mid lane. Um, but outside that, you have a really good um, scaling here from actually both teams. A little bit more, I would imagine, for the side of Penumbral because they have a Zeri, they have an Oriana, and the Ornn. Um, but again, really excited. I think there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff happening. But all right, I'm just excited. So here's the draft. There's a lot of good stuff to happen. The guys are still getting prepped to go into the game. So let's see here. Yo, what's up, Gav? How's it going, man? Yes, we are here on another day to bring it on more ET for you guys, for everyone. Um, alright, so looks like the guys are getting ready. Okay, I am in streamer mode. Available. Okay, so we're gonna be good. And yeah, I cannot wait to get this game on going. Looks like the guys are getting ready, so we're gonna start game very, very soon. And in the meantime, I need to make a post here on Twitter. Give me 1 second as I try to find my screens here. Ah, here we go. I need to find. I'm gonna send a post here because I know these guys. I think Team Neighbors has a Twitter page, so I gotta show some love to who we're facing. So give me a few minutes.
Let me at 'em.
Grounded.
Right.
They cannot handle.
Alright, sweet. And let the post fly. As let me bring some stuff here. Alright, lovely. Okay, so the guys are getting ready for the game. I cannot
You don't
say
have to
enough
be
how
afraid.
excited I am for this match. There's so much in at stake here, so really looking forward for all of the action. Um, what we're gonna do is we're waiting for the guys to finish in-game drafting. We're gonna wait for the SPAC delay, and uh, we're gonna go on a very short break. So grab your coffee, grab your water, grab whatever you have to drink, get something to eat, some snack, and just sit tight and relax because it's going to be an awesome night. So we'll be right back, and I'm gonna prepare some stuff for you guys to interact in the chat with predictions, bets, whatever you guys want to do. We're gonna get that ready in the next couple of minutes. So stay strong, and we're coming back. are back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the beginning of the qualifier stage. This is group, or sorry, not group. This is the qualifier Swiss stage. TE Obsidian versus ET Penumbral. Now we're seeing an evade here from the top side, but Will Matherford is going to spot TE team. He dropped a ward. Blaze, they're arguing who probably is going to take, who is better to take the first ward, as Killer Guy will take that level 1, level 2 on the first wave first as he grabs that ward. Now we see here warding from Source Walker. He did leave a ward in the entrance of the jungle, spotting the Killer Guy, as he also dropped a ward in the Raptors. Shiver Shakes is sitting here on this bush in the bottom side. He checked to see if they're warding the bot, and looks like he's going to seek the Killer Guy, but so far nothing's happening. Killer Guy will have to see Shiver Shakes at some point. He does see now. He leaves a ward here on this top side, or sorry, this bottom side at the Raptors, and again that's the first phase of the day. And I apologize, but you know it's been happening a few times, and it's happening a lot actually in the recent um, series, and it does not want to stop. So I do apologize in advance, but I do expect to have some little freezes, but we'll move along. Now Surge is getting the first Q in. The Killer Guy goes in with the E, gets in a lot of damage, but the Q comes in, the auto, and it is an even trade starting. Now Super Shakes will abuse of this matchup. I personally hate this matchup. I think it's one of the most annoying matches to deal with as a Silas. But obviously, if you do land your E's, then things become so much easier as you get level 2 and 3. But you can be kited pretty easily. Now here the Maokai keeping vision on the bottom side, the level 2 coming in from Flimsy Fence. He goes in for a heavy trade on the Will for food, doing a lot of damage, roughly 55-6% of health. Now the bottom side here, Tabula Raza and a lot of numbers from the Maokai. They push it in, they get the first push, and they're gonna crash the first wave. Shylin Frost, they get it, just noticing that Shylin Frost not just the ADC position for today. Um, both junglers starting on their red side, pathing towards their blue side. J4 mini pathing towards the Renekton, and the Kha'Zix pathing towards the bot lane. As we see pings on top of Kha'Zix's head, they know he's pathing on the bottom side. We'll see the Maokai gonna drop some deep warding now, as Kha'Zix's gonna start the blue buff, as he's gonna get spotted on. There's a lot of pings there for danger on the Orianna on this bottom side, as they expect the J4 to be coming to the bottom side as well, as the Orianna keeps pressure on the Killer Guy, doing a lot of damage and doing a lot of. But Killer Guy, he goes in, he gets one passive auto, the W in. It looks like he W'd the minion. And now we see the J4. Oh, the J4 and the Maokai. The E lands. Super Shakes is in the bad spot. The E comes. And first blood for the Killer Guy. Both J4 and the Maokai coming in on this roam, as they look into the Silas to get the early lead. Because if he gets the early lead, the lane does become a lot easier. But if he just lanes by himself, then things looks pretty bad. The TP comes in. Now Pink's coming on the top side, as top is frozen. Will Malphite is going to get a lot of damage. The Fury W, a lot of damage coming in. He does have flash, but he's pretty much dead, and he's going to die for Flimsy Fence. 2 kills on the board for Tenebrous Esports, as they get a pretty good lead on top and in the middle lane. Now this is putting them on a 1.3k advantage right out of the bat. which is good as they're building some CS lead. The TP from Rumath for food will help take that wave, at least experience to a certain degree, as Source Walker will be spotted on that ward on the Raptors. We are seeing that he came in with a Ghost instead of Flash, but overall, ooh, and I just realized an interesting choice. The Tabula Raza came in with the Airy Rune instead of Lethal Tempo, so could we be looking at a possible Lethality Sevier here? Coming with the poke. Now, CJ Blaze Flame is going to be spotted on the ward, cleaning it. They know he's on the bottom side. There's another ward in the Reaver. There's also good protection for TE's bot lane here, as they're going to spot the Kazakhs in the bottom side, taking the Scuttle Crab. As Source Walker clears that ward in the Reaver, but they know both are around. Killer Guy misses the E, takes a lot of damage. Super Shake's going for a heavy trade in the mid lane. Now Muffin Man is a little too far forward. Even as an Alistar, he's gonna get stunned. The Ignite comes. The knockup hits Silent Frost that uses the E beautifully to get away. But again, the Alistar goes down, and the kill goes to J4 to accelerate this early game, as the E is looking forward. Looks like they're going to go for a reset, so they're not going to try that first Drake right now. But keeping a lot of pressure starts to build up a little bit of some advantage on all lanes, especially mid, well, top and jungle, as Silver Shakes is able to put a lot of pressure on the Killer Guy, is able to get the CS advantage as in the matchup. But now J4 is looking. There's a lot of pings on top of him. They know he's around. It's going to be a 3v3 or 3v2 because Maokai is coming in again. Silver Shakes dodges the knockup. He is level 6. He has Shockwave. The Shockwave comes, stops Maokai and the J4. Killer Guy comes in. He doesn't have the damage, but Killer Guy is really low with the Ignite, and it's not going to go down. The Ignite comes in from Muffin Man. Flashes from Killer Guy. Flashes on the Malphite. Also, and the Ghost on Source Walker, they are not able to have the damage just yet, but the Orianna is safe and she does not use her flash, so she remains safe. She builds a 22, 21, 20 CS lead pretty much in this mid lane, and she's able to even out that first blood that the Silas got. So now that she's gonna come back with a full Lost Chapter, things will look much better for her. Now things are looking good in the mid lane. They do still need to keep good eyes on the J4 and the Maokai. They are moving the map quite a lot, and J4 just got level 6, so he will be much more of a threat. And also, if the Killer Guy, I didn't see if he ulted. I didn't think like he had the mana to ult, because if he had, it could have been way worse as well. Now we see here TE going for that first Herald. Maokai is the top side. He gets some vision. The rotation is there. Alistar sitting on the bottom side is going to clear some wave. ET is looking for the Drake, as they started off the Drake with the Zeri, as Source Walker is coming. Muffman is going around making sure he has the vision. He knows what's going on. Now he's spotting the Maokai coming to bot side, as Maokai also using the saplings. A lot of damage coming from Super Shakes into the Silas. Herald is confirmed by the J4 and the Drake, and they pretty much traded as the Drake goes for ED. Killer Guy at 60% health, but trying to pull the wave. J4 is coming in. Source Walker is around. Super Shakes is able to put pressure. Is able to get the first plate here in the mid lane. We're seeing here something happening, and the Maokai is coming in again. The E locks in the Shockwave on Silas. The Shockwave comes back on Source Walker. The W comes in, but Chivershik gets a Q. Source Walker does die for the Cataclysm. Now Tabula is here, and it's a double Q for Blaze Flame. It's a double Q on the J4, as again the Maokai is doing really good rotations, and the Alistar Muffin Man isn't matching them. He's sticking around with Shining Frost in the bottom lane. And all this happened and Maokai is just hitting level 6 and Blaze is in the bot lane. He has the ult, but the Movement has a good Q to cancel the knockup from the J4. As the J4 is already almost at one item. Now goes in again. The Maokai gets the ultimate, flashes away Shining Frost. He manages to surround the healing from Muffyman. They're both low. The Q doesn't finish off Shining Frost as he's super low. But they will be able to secure some extra plays. If not, I don't think they're gonna get the trigger turn. Oh, Muffyman's gonna get the knocks back Tabula Rasa, gets the flash, but he will survive. Now Makwa takes another 2 shots of the turret. They're gonna survive and they're pretty much gonna take this first turret because Silas is in the bottom side. Muffyman getting his back stopped and is dying to this time to severe Tabula Rasa, getting that first 5 place at the bottom lane. Pretty much the first turret going for all the mid jungle and ADC, and the gold lead is skyrocketing for TE. It's nearly 4K at 11 minutes. That's a huge amount of gold. As we're seeing pings on top of the Silazine, Buffman is around. Top has stabilized a little bit with Umafu getting some items. But again, things are not looking too good here for ETP. Even with the small CS advantage, well not small, but like 10 to 12 CS, like 3 camps for the Kazakhs, but that is not equal to the 1600 gold advantage that J4 has on top of him. He has boots and Gore Drinker completed, as looks like the Kazakhs is going for Gore Drinker play here. He has the Conquerors, so he's going to go to a fighter Kazakhs. Interesting choices, but again, all this gold lead that TE has is on ADC and currently on the jungle. There is a nice 500 gold advantage on the Renekton, but he's not be able to translate much more than that. In the mid, we also have the lane itself putting Orion slowly ahead of the Silas. Now Maokai does a good job in keeping vision around the mid lane in both top and bottom side. And he's gonna face check the Kazakhs, but Kazakhs just woes away. The ultimate comes in, he gets the hit on the Orianna. The killer guy has a shockwave from Orianna Super 6. The other shockwave coming in, but killer guy is going to die. He dies. Now Tabula Rasa is around. He's going to kite back. It's a 3-4-1. The TP coming in from Ornn. Super Shakes is trying to kite as much as possible. He does some damage. He's going to go down to CJ. Ultimate coming in. Now the TP from Renekton. Source Walker gets a Q on Tabula Rasa. CJ is still alive as it's getting kited by the Zeri. Shining Frost gets the healing from the Gore Drinker. The shutdown goes to Wilma for food on the Ornn. Now Flimsy is getting kited out, but he managed to get the Fury auto attack. Killer guy TP's back, gets 1 Q on Shining Frost. Muffyman gonna go down for a double Q. The fight is so long that the killer guy gets he's back on the game. He respawns and get the double kill with his TP. And it doesn't feel like ET has a lot of damage outside the Orianna right now, as Kha'Zix is going for more tanky build, as we see a double cloth armor on the Kha'Zix, taking some time to get that kill on the Tabula Rasa. I thought Tabula Rasa was going to go for some lethality build with the area, but no, she go for static shift, and now she's building something I cannot recognize what that Kindle Gem and Caulfield's is together. I can't really think right now what could be it. Now the first Drake coming in for TE. Doesn't look like ET is going to go try to fight. The killer guy has the Alistar ult, and ET is just going to give it up. It's still a 4.3k gold lead, so it's still around the same lead as they were before. But now the Salah's got some resources and he's even out with that double Q. He managed to get the same amount of resources. He has the Everfrost completed, and this is bad for Penumbral because Penumbral, their only like lead that they had was on this Oriana, and in although Silent Frost is sitting on now 0-1-1, he does not have the resources as same as Tabula Rasa with 20 CS advantage pretty much, and pretty much half item in front of him as both have Static Shiv. Now TE is going to guarantee that second Herald. We're seeing both teams looking at this mid lane as Renekton is around, looking probably for Shine Frost. He goes in, gets a stun on Muffman. He gets knocked up. Now Will Mafferford will try to get some damage on that bottom tier 1 as Killer Guy was able to crash the previous wave. Zero Shakes is just waiting patiently for the wave, getting some resources. He's sitting on the low CS count, 100 at almost 16. Should be pretty low for these guys. And Child Frost getting some resources. ETP needs to find a way to slow down the game. Now we're seeing probably a play here on the top side as both J4 and Maokai are on the top side. They're pinging on top of Zero Shakes. The ultimate comes in. The Herald, the W, the Shockwave gets some damage, buys some time, and the shutdown. Oh, he's not. There's no shutdown. I thought it was shutdown, but the nice kill on the 3v1 bought some time with Leandris and the Shockwave, but tier 1 top goes down. Muffin goes for the engage on Tabula Rasa, gets the flash from it, and they're going to secure tier 1 mid as the Killer Guy is going for tier 2 top. He got the second charge, he got the extra 600 gold. Will Muffin is going to ult, he does not get the second headbutt. Now the Killer Guy has the ultimate from Ornn, but he's gonna get into the fight a 4v1. He has 150 gold shut down that they're looking to give to Silent Frost. And Silent Frost Source Walker goes there and Silent Frost secures this shutdown as tier 1 mid will drop now for TE. They do exchange some gold, but overall with the tier 2 top play as well, all the gold or the gold advantage still remains on TE side, and they do increase by another 1,000. They still keep getting resources, but at least Silent Frost was able to get something out of it. So ET needs to try to find a way to slow down the game. Their scaling is much better, so they need to keep a good eye on that. Now the pace of the game it is still pretty fast. Nearly 1 Q per minute. A lot of objectives, fights, a lot of calls. Um, but overall, like TE's early game has been a bit more consistent, and they have been dominating the vision game. They had a lot of vision on the bottom side and the top side for most part of the game. The Maokai had really good rotations where they were able to punish the Oriana a few times, and now we're seeing the hack stack gates coming in. Another possible 3-man play here on this Oriana with the Maokai around. There's a lot of things as the J4 gets potted in this bottom side. Super Shake just stays in the bush, stay hidden to avoid any potential deaths. We're gonna have a Drake in about 50 seconds. It's not close to third Drake. ET is gonna grab tier 1 top side. So the question is, are they gonna fight for this Drake? Because they have no vision on this bottom side. All the vision is blue here, as we can see a lot of wards and C wards as J4 is pinging the mid lane. They're looking for a probable 3v2, but looks like they just fall back, both Muffin and Silent Frost. As we see the bottom side, as TE has complete pressure on this bottom side, they have mid and bot pushed towards their side. They're trying to extend their advantage as Will Buffer tries to keep pressure on the top side as Flame's defense is just absorbing all these CS and experience under the turret. Zero Shakes also just trying to slowly get his CS. Now ET is getting vision on the top side. This is just a second Drake for either team, so they want to secure as Baron's going to spawn in a couple seconds. So they might look for play at some time here on this top side, or at least make sure they know if the E tries anything funky on this Baron that's spawning. We see now a lot of people pinging here. There's a trap being set by ET, but they will be able to spot a 3-man coming in. Now the killer guy hits, he gets the knockup, he gets the stun, the ultimate. Good flash by Wu Food. The ultimate from Silas goes wide, but J4 is around, and Wu Food will pay the price as ET just left here on the stop side. And they will secure kill, another kill on the J4 with Cleaver and Gore Drinker. ET keeps mid lane pushed, but there is a severe, and TE is being straight for the Baron as the Source Walker is just moving away, and ET is just trying to play on the other side of the map, trying to avoid frontal collision against TE. So they will try to take as much resources as this is a very early Baron. So and they're in the hopes that TE won't get much out of that first Baron. They are already ahead. They're going for the 6k gold advantage, and they're trying to take as much resource as possible before a big, huge fight to come next, because none of them are near a power, like a good power spike. We just have now 2 items on the Ornn. We just now have 2 items on the Orianna. We don't even have a full 2 items. We might have 2 items on Zeri as she has 2,000 back. We still don't have 2 items on Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix went with the steel cap, so he might be looking for a possible Death's Dance. Tier 2 mid lane is going to drop. They do have an Orianna around. They are tier 2 on the bottom lane, as well as they're gonna take all these jungle camps from the blue side of the red team. So let's see how much ET is gonna buy time by avoiding collision, but it looks like it's gonna be a 4-man dive or pretty soon, as they're gonna get in this. The ultimate from Maokai comes in, they secure siege on this first turret. The knockup on this Blaze comes in. Killer guy gets the Alistar ultimate, so they don't have the Maokai ult, but they still have plenty of potential to engage and fight, as Ornn is dealing with Flimsy Flanks. They're enact on this top side. 50% health, like all this tier 3 is almost dying. Flimsy Flanks fleeting from Will Maffer for doing a lot of damage. Silver Shakes comes in, the E, he gets a double E cast, the shockwave comes in, the shutdown goes to the Ornn as TE gets tier 3 bot. They do take 3 turrets with the Baron buff, and they do give a 600 wound shutdown to Ornn, which isn't necessarily good, as the Orianna would be the other option there. He would have a lot of extra gold. But they keep the 6,000 gold lead pretty much there. Yes, this is just the first Baron, so they aren't able to completely open the base from ET, but they also they are able to use to get some extra gold. Now they're looking to this top side as Maokai is going to get vision. They're going to go for camp steal. We see the J4 stealing a lot of camps, getting 620 CS advantage, so nearly 5 camps ahead of the Source Walker has a level advantage. Pretty much everyone but the top side, or the top laner, is behind in experience from ET. We see 1 level in mid lane, 2 levels in the bot lane, and just the ADC, the supports. And again, now the killer guy getting caught here. He gets the flash away and the shockwave. The ultimate from Will Maffer will hit and will be another kill here. CJ is going to face check 3-man. He gets knocked up by the Alistar. Tabula Rasa is around. Muffyman flashes away, but now it could be a 5v4. Silent Frost does take a lot of damage from this Tabula Rasa that is doing a lot of damage with 3 items. He has Cleaver and Navori, as that Q took a lot of chunk on Silent Frost that has the first ornament. Now with Malphite Fruit, it's gonna be a 3v3. The ultimate from Maokai comes in. Renekton is in the back. Is in the back coming in. Super Shakes TP. Buffy Man he takes a lot. He gets 4 men knocked out or knockup. Now J4 is gonna get hit, but he's thinking a lot. Now Source Walker goes down. Flash stun on Super Shakes. He does not have. He has flash, but he does not have ultimate. Silent Frost doing a lot of damage on CJ Blaze, but not able. Now Tabula has a flashing forward, getting a lot of damage on Silent Frost. Now the dot, oh, the spell shield to block the W and a double Q on Tabula Rasa, and possibly I could argue the game. The Killer Frost is going to get spot on this ward. He's going to go down. It could be game because there's only 10 seconds on Source Walker, but might be just the Drakes, so Soul Point and 2 inhibitors. There's a lot here that happened, and Super Shakes did not have the CDs, the ultimate, to be able to get a 3 or 4 man ultimate there that could have changed the fight. But TE gets a big lead with that fight. They are able to secure a 10k gold lead now. That's going to be massive. We are seeing 3 stopwatches from the side of TE. Maokai has a stopwatch, Seafer has a stopwatch, the Salas has a stopwatch, so they will be able to buy so much time the next team fight that although EG is getting their power spikes, it might not be enough to win, as we see the Shojin coming in for Kha'Zix, 2 items, power spikes. Silent Frost is still far away from his 3rd item, but he has the last whisper there, so I don't know if they will be able to buy enough time being 2 inhibitors down. They'll be able to get a lot of gold out of the wave. The knockup hits Silent Frost so far behind as the ultimate from Ornn was coming down. So this second Baron could be potential game play here, and we'll see what ET is going to bring on this next couple seconds here. The Ornn is coming around, they're keeping mid pushed, the bot is pushed as much as possible. They're pinging in the bottom lane, so they just need to buy time for that, for those super minions to start getting to the base of ET and look for a possible fight. But they catch CJ in a ward, gets he just walks away, he gets ignited, but that's pretty much it. Now knock up on Tabula Rasa, he uses stopwatch, but he's gonna go down. Shutdown goes to Silent Frost. They have a huge here. There's a big wave coming on the bottom side. Renekton is pushing top. ET is looking for a fight, but they're resetting. They're already on resetting because they know there's a big wave in the bottom side, as it could be a 4v3. Will Bufferfoot's gonna get his back cancelled. Orianna did not cancel his back. The ultimate comes in. Our killer guy comes in with the ultimate. Zeri is not around. The shockwave doesn't do much damage as Orianna goes down. Source Walker survives. Silent Frost is around. Now 2 knockups. Flames defense is around. Silent Frost is kiting everyone. Double Q on the killer guy, taking a lot of damage from the Maokai. The Q comes in, the healing, the knockup, and the Killer Frost gets another healing from the minions kills. Oh my god, it's gonna be a quadra Q for the killer guy. The minions killed. Nice, well played there. He's going to get 2 double Qs, and Source Walker. Oh, it's a pentakill. It's a non-official pentakill. The killer guy gets a pentakill, but Riot decided that was too late, and Flimsy fans will take the game 1. He managed to do a lot with the Alistar ultimate. Then nobody had the damage to deal with him, and nobody from the side of ET has actually what's called healing cut, and they died 1 for 1. Silent Frost died for super minions in the mid lane. Wumaffer Food, there was a massive healing coming in, and then again on Source Walker with a lot of healing. He bought enough time with the stopwatch to be able to uh, get the CD down, and Killer Guy, after having really hard time in that mid lane, after like after the first Flush Blood, he had a really rough time in the first 5 minutes, getting a lot of pressure, and not being able to deal with the Oriana. At the end of the day, with so much time and effort spent to make sure that he would not have such a bad time, he's able to turn on the fights, get a good ultimates, apply a lot of the, be really effective on the fights. And in this last fight, amazing what he did with the Alistar ult. So again, like, TE played really, really beautifully. He like they had a really high pace game. They were able to control all the objectives, vision. They won the vision control war against ET, and they were able to control the map as they pleased. And they just slowly got gold on top of it. Um, and we can see on these damage charts, the Killer Guy, his damage, I can guarantee that damage chart just jumped up in the last fight. Tabula Rasa did a lot of damage overall in the game, a lot of pressure. The Renekton also a lot of pressure. CJ Blaze had a really good game on the J4, doing a lot of work there. From the side of ET, Will Mafferfood did a lot on this Ornn. He had a rough early game as well, but he was able to come back and do a lot of damage, put a lot of pressure on the Ornn mid to late game. Silver Shakes had a good game overall. Um, Maybe not so much on certain calls here and there, but overall, a lot of damage coming in, really good movement. Tried to get some resources. He was targeted the whole game by Maokai and the J4. Let's not forget about that. Um, Source Walker wasn't able to do much on the Kazakhs, and Charlie Frost, he started to pop off after he started to get the 2.5 items, but it was just too late. So, good game by TE. We're gonna go on a short break so we can get ready for game two. So just give us a few minutes. We'll be right back as we need to figure out what size ETP is going to get. Whew, that was a lot of action, that's for sure. So I just started here the contest and the predictions for game two as I was updating as well. So ETP is going to choose blue side, or they have chosen blue side over red side. So just give me a few minutes so I can update the screen for you guys. But very, I was expecting a good game from TE. I was expecting them to be a very strong team because they were looking pretty good on the regular season, and I could say they were pretty shy of actually securing, um, from securing playoff spot directly. So good stuff by them. They showed that they're really strong, and they showed that ETP, if they want to be able to seriously get a chance to go to playoffs, they need to step it up. But we do believe in the ETP boys, and we're here to cheer for them. So let's see if they can get to their comfort zone, if they can get a reverse sweep here, because starting with a one series win here on this let's call on this qualifier section on the Swiss stage is going to be really important. So the teams are getting ready, so we're gonna be able to start and see draft very shortly. Whew, what a game! And remembering that AML is a Masters LP list, so if you are Masters for the past few seasons, you are allowed to start to play in the league. And obviously, once you are in the league, there is no growth cap, so you can, if you climb to Grandmasters, if you climb to Challenger, you're okay. Um, Obviously, you're not going to be able to play the next season, but again, this is closest to the top that we're going to be able to get, and we're gonna see a lot of good players at these competition. Now, on the other side, there is a match going on for the for seeding between the teams that finished the groups by in first and second place. Uh, they're fighting for seeding. So ET Blood Moon is playing one of those seeding matches. They did finish their first game. It was a 37-minute game, and they did um, they did lose that game one. We are not. They're not playing with the main roster. They are playing with a sub ADC. But just wanted to give that update out there. So now the draft has started. We see the Ziggs prio in banning from ATP. Um, I was wondering if they would consider picking since they have first pick, but I guess not. We also see the Seraphine um, being discussed or planned at least. Tenebros Esports Obsidian confirmed the Master E. As expected, and they're probably gonna keep the Jax as well. Um, yep, the Jax goes really fast. Now, I'm wondering if there will be any adaptations there based on the last draft. If they're gonna ban, um, maybe the size could be for the second rotation, but if they're gonna take anything else, no, they go with the Talia. They keep the Talia ban, so they're keeping the same idea. So let's see how if there's any draft adaptations from CyberTP when it comes to taking picks, as we also see TO going for that Kaisa as last ban. Now ATP locks in the J4, which is definitely like a, I believe is definitely a uh, a big champion for early phases. So can do a lot of different things there. So I'm interested to see what is going to how Source Walker is going to pilot this J4. As we see the Maokai as a immediate answer here from TEO and the Zeri combining. So they're bringing the Zeri against the J4, which is expected. And Maokai is still flex, but I would imagine he would definitely bring that Maokai support again and open the jungle for something different. I can definitely see that. Now, Will Mafufuru will blind the Orn really soon, which is something he is comfortable in. He showed he had a really good performance overall on the Orn, um, and he does help the team. So we need to see how the rest of the draft and how they're gonna play that to see how it's gonna change the outcome of the game. Now Nautilus, which is it's an interesting choice to lock down that Zeri with the ultimate. The Swain, I imagine Salas it has to be a ban here for either of these teams. Uh, Tenebris Esports has R4 first, so I imagine they could pick the Salas, so they could let it go actually. And well, with the Swain pick, it's kind of hard to pick Salas. It would be a heavy AP. But I definitely would be interesting to give it that shot. But they do bend the Silas, which is also is a pretty good, huge option. Giving Swain, Zeri, and Maokai ult, so Silas is not the greatest thing to do. Now, let's see what kind of adaptations here. The Kindred being selected, targeting the jungle, maybe trying to force him to play the Maokai. Maybe they want to force the J4 Maokai in the jungle, um, and have that Swain either be moved to support or something else. Now the Tristana remains Tristana banned for TEO, taking that out. And the Graves is the other ban from ETP. So they're targeting a good two to three, well, three bans on the jungle. So trying to see if he brings something else or forces to take that Maokai. That would force them to bring uh, a support here, and that's what TEO is looking for. The Rel, the Alistar being shown. Now Alistar, so keeping the profile, the high health profile for TEO, Alistar, Swain, the Maokai, keeping a very beefy boys kind of comp um, from the side of TE. The Vayne being considered for ET, and looks like they're gonna lock it in. And yes, they lock it in the Vayne, which is cancel a little bit of these heavy health targets from the side of TE, and the Azir coming in huge on the side of ET, like very important big scaling. So again, the thing is, the scaling factor is definitely there for ET. Um, Now the question is, can they execute? Move? Can they move around and like, can they not take 5,000? Um, can they like not be 5,000 gold in deficit as we see the counter on the Yone? So this could be Yone mid or Yone top. I think both are good matchups for Yone, and with a Maokai, you can make Yazir suffer really badly, and you keep Swain on a scaling matchup against the Ornn, or you can do the same thing, just put Yone to do a scaling match against the Ornn, and just have Swain, play scaling. You still have setup to kill mid, so you still have a lot of potential from either side. So again, going to be it's going to be really interesting how this game will be played because I think there's so much potential for both teams. It will really depend on how this J4 and this Maokai is going to fly. Um, I'm also really interested to see how much movement will be able to impact this game, how much um, the Alistar is going to be able to impact this game. Because the Azir, although it has a little bit more mobility and once level 6, might be a little easier to deal with a couple situations, is he still can be pretty much targeted. And the J4, they now the thing is with the J4, they do have a huge setup in the bottom lane, so I would be expecting ET to be playing through that bot lane, targeting someone, getting like trying to get kills and set up plays because it's gonna be really important to snowball the Vayne or the Azir because they will need two items to start being really impactful in the game. But again, that's just me. Obviously, I don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm just talking water here, trying to get things going. So looks like the guys are starting the game in-game draft. So we're gonna go into a small break before we start game 2. Once we're back, we're gonna go straight into game. So stay tuned, get some
Is the
water,
greatest
as we'll
enemy.
be right back. I'm just gonna be updating here the screen as we start game 2. TE Obsidian currently on the red side, ETP on the blue side. As we see here, TE going for another 5-man invade on the top side, trying to catch Ruma for food, and looks like he is gonna get caught here in this bush if they move forward. He will at least need to flash. So it looks like Flimsy fans secured the swing for himself, and the killer guy goes for Dione mid, going for that free scaling top side as they're gonna try to put a lot of pressure in the mid lane. Blaze Flame secure going and jungle as expected, and Alistar. Ooh, Alistar going in with the aftershock, not the glacial augment, as TE did not go for the invade. Now we see the Azir Super Shakes dropping some vision in the Raptors. So they will be, and they spot the Blaze Flame here on the top side. So they could be expecting uh, them to start. As you're gonna see, Killer Guy walking to the Raptors, spotting the J4, knowing where he's starting. Now the pings here from missing from Tabula Raz and the Alistar looking to, but they know where J4 is. They see him going for that uh, rat buff, but we see he goes straight for golems instead. But now the free lane for Swain is gonna stack his health. Buffy been gas level 2, gets a hook into Alistar. The pot shot comes in with a knockup. The shield, a lot of damage there on Tabula Rasa, taking the full stack, the 3 autos with the passive hit of the W, and now take another Q auto there as we're gonna go for lovely freezes. But the bot lane from TE takes a lot of damage on this level 2 trade. They don't space correctly, they get the extra damage. The post shock does, the aftershock does help a little bit. J4 is looking in this bottom side, going for the invade on the Maokai for the blues. We see the Buffyman now rotating. There are pings on the blue side looking for the blue team looking for the Maokai invade. Buffyman is around. Silver's Walker is really low. The Flash Q ignite, and the first blood goes to Alistar. The flash from Silent Frost. He gets a Q on the Blaze. They're looking for Tabula Rasa. The flash already. Oh, the Q comes in. Doesn't have enough damage. The Tabula Rasa gets the Q. Azir is around. He goes in. Gets a Q on Tabula Rasa. Super Shakes. Gonna go for a double Q. Gets the double Q. Killer Guy has the shield. He's gonna be able to get his double Q himself. Now will Azir get his triple Q? Both are low. The shield comes in. The Q, beautiful play, and double Q for the Killer Guy. Really well played from the both mid laners. Double Q on each other. Yone getting ahead as well of Azir, getting accelerated. Now a lot of damage coming into Wilma for food. Flames is doing a lot of damage with the pull. He needs to be careful. He's gonna get that experience as he will need to reset. But a lot of summoners like Ghost flashes from both mid and ADCs, or actually from mid ADC and support for ETP. And the Killer Guy did not even have. He didn't have to use TP. He already had crashed his wave. He didn't have to flash. So really good for for TE here, especially for the Killer Guy on the mid lane, keeping the summoners. And now Desert can be punished really heavily. Rumafufui will get hooded, will get the W. Now the stun comes in, the pull back. Sure 6 takes a lot of damage from CJ Flame and from the Killer Guy that has red buff. The Alistar is around, so he needs to be careful. Oh, he misses the knockup. He gets a good usage of the Hexack, but he misses the combo, and Sewer Shakes will survive momentarily and almost. Oh, Sewer Shakes, he managed to ease back. Now Silent Frost, they will spot the Alistar. The hook comes in. He got stunned onto the wall. They get stunned from the auto from the Muffin Man. The hit's gonna come, and Silent Frost gets a nice Q and gets this vein accelerated further. Now, even under vision, they will guarantee the first Drake. ET trying to get a more proactive play, trying to punish the Alistar that likes to move around the map. Um, now, Super 60 gets a knock up, but the killer guy, it feels like he canceled his auto attack there. We see level 6 on the Swain. Now the killer guy goes in, he gets, it's gonna be over. Killer guy goes for a solo kill under turret, gets it as he had level 6, doesn't even need to use his ultimate. He's going to punish Azir so hard without that flash, and things will not look good as TE still managing a nice 1k gold lead with a massive 15 CS difference in top, and now the solo kill. Now Blaze has the combo coming from the Alistar. His Source Walker shows up. Silence Frost, they looking for Tabula. Tabula goes down. Can't be a double kill. Silent Frost is low. The auto passive doesn't get in. See, Blaze gets the kill on the shutdown on Silent Frost. The TP and ultimate from Killer does not hit anyone, and now he's gonna use those CDs, but a lot it's lost for Tabula Rasa. Hook under turret gets some 2 turret shots. He's gonna force the unit to reset as Tabula Rasa is going to mid lane. The Azir gets extra CS. I do believe he got a plate. Yes, he got a plate in mid, so he's able to get some gold back. Still 1k gold adventure towards TE, but that's a good punishment on TE there on the bottom lane. And actually, they traded they traded a mid lane wave for bot. Killer guy still here with us, almost 50% health now. Does not have ultimate. He still has flash, but he can't simply reset. And Silent Frost looking comfortable, looking good, looking confident in this gameplay with the Vayne. Now Shiver shakes, trying to take some damage. CJ Ablaze going for that demonic Amber's first item. We see the blasting one. We see the amplifying tome and crystal ruby. We go for a small freeze, hopefully, as we're back, and we see that now that Nautilus looking for a mid play as he's walking towards the jungle near mid. So we see a lot of pings. The Herald is alive. It's 8 and 13. Doesn't look like ET is going to be focusing that. Alistar leaving the bot lane. Blue pings pinging, no vision. They see Tabula Rasa moving over the ward. They spot the Maokai on the top side. Now they see the Alistar. They see their rotation towards the Herald. And ETP is saying, hey, let's force this dive. Trying to fight. The J4 has not been seen in vision, and they continue to ping for a dive in the bottom side, trying to punish the Blaraza. Has level 6, Muffin has 6 too. The ultimate comes in, the stun, knock up, the flash comes in, the solo Q. Tabula Rasa kills Silent Frost, and the play goes sideways here for the side of ET. Shakes leaves, is able to survive. They do crash the wave. They make Tabula Rasa lose a lot of experience, but the ultimate coming for Wilford from Matthew goes in, gets a lot of damage, gets double knockup. EW, the ignite on the flaming fence. The ultimate goes in. He does not heal with it, and now gets spotted again. Alistar in around the mid lane. Malphite around the mid lane. The flash Q. Will map for food with the extra summoners with the spell book. Now Azir needs to be careful. He's going to be a 3-man dive here in the mid lane. The knock comes in. The knockup comes in. Flash for again. Nice usage of Surima's Drift And now CJ is in an awkward solution. The flash Q does not hit by Muffy Man. They do get a flash from CJ Ablaze. It's a lot happening here. The TE is trying to put a lot of pressure into this mid lane as they did in game one, but at least now Shurshix has some ability to deal with it, and he is able to fight back, getting some damage here on Killer Guy. Now, the bottom play would have been lovely if they didn't die. I think Silent Frost sank the turret initially before the ultimate from Nautilus. Now Shurima goes in, gets the Shurima shuffle. The ultimate comes in. Oh, Source Arc was a little slow on the flag and drag, and the combo doesn't stop the ultimate from Killer Guy to go in. Claire does not have TP or ultimate, but he does have flash now, as Flimsy will take for one plate here on the top side. We are missing only the Azir ult. It's going to be Azir ult for uh, Yone's ult, but Azir does have TP, does have both summoners. Yone is going, we see him going straight towards his bottom side as Walker is clearing vision here from the bottom side. They will be spot as they move further up in the river. Azir is going to move to clear this mid lane first. Muffy Man is going to get hit by the Maokai ult, and the knockup comes from Killer Guy. He's going to get killed. Super Shake is going around. The CJ Bliss goes in. The ultimate from Tabula Rasa. Good knockup from Surge Walker. He does go down. Silent Frost has ghosted, but they will give up this Drake, this Inferno Drake, as Ornn moved to mid lane to push it in. They will get one plate. Yes, they do get a plate at least, but it's still a better play towards TE, as they now are at 2k gold advantage. And Killer tries to hit Super Shake, is not able to, as we see the Maokai stealing camps here on the bottom side again. Always trying to steal camps. Now Tabula Rasa staying way too long. He's gonna get ulted. Oh, it's gonna be a full combo here by both J4 and Nautilus. The shutdown goes to J4 as Tabula Rasa tried to greed for a second plate in this bottom lane. Now the ultimate comes in from Flame Serene. Will Fruit takes some damage, does a lot of damage in return. He does not have Ignite, but he's gonna trade a little bit of his health. He still has his ultimate. Azir was looking to go up, but he's coming back now in the mid lane. But he does burn the CD ultimate for this Swain. Now Azir is looking to possibly make a play. Buffer Food is going to take some damage from the Swain now. Oh, Muffin getting caught with deep vision. The blast cone. Oh, the blast cone. He's meant to survive for now. Silver Shakes gets the Shurima shuffle. The ultimate from Ornn. The kill goes to Silver Shakes. Muffy Man is surviving. This Killer Guy will take the kill once the E comes back. Yes, he does, but they lose a lot of time to get the Muffy Man. He is able to buy so much time using the other blast cone, as we are on a Chemtech map. Now the TP going on the bottom side for Zir after securing a kill on the top side, trying to level up a little bit. And we're going here for another invade from Maokai and Tabula Rasa. The Zeri, they're gonna go for this red buff, as they have the bottom side completely warded. They know exactly who is and who isn't in this bottom lane. Still, the first turret is yet to drop. The Alice are always looking for the Raptor Pit. Possible 4v2 here. Silent Frost, he does have flash, but he's gonna get spotted. The Alistair, and he just walks back. Now Super Shake's keeping pressure, keeping damage on the turret. Now we see the Yone coming in with Malphite in his bottom side, but the Shurima Shuffle just lets him, or Shurima Drifter, I don't know, gets in to save him, as he just gets the reposition himself. Now we see a lot of pings from ETP on the blue side on this Herald. You're gonna look to fight this Herald as Nautilus is around, The Azir does not have TP. The Yone does, but looks like they do fall back. Shadow Frost is at 60% health, and they're just looking to clear waves and keep the state and scaling under. Now, I think here scaling is a bit even because you have Vayne, you have Zeri, Ornn and Swain, Azir and Yone. So scaling is a really even here. Now Super Shake's getting in a good drift, getting good damage back on this Yone that is 4-0 at level 10. Now Alistar is around. They're looking for probably a 2v2. Shadow Frost is very low, so one combo could put him in an awkward situation here as he has Ghost and Ultimate. So actually, the Ignite from Alistar is going to come in a couple seconds, so it's going to be a 2v2. If it happens, that is 4 Summoner spells on both laners. Now we see here Azir gets first turret, he's going for a reset. TE is going to guarantee that second Herald with the Alistar around, the Swain around, and J4 was not around. They will keep an advantage even though it's still AK. It's I mean 16 minutes. It's not bad to have the 1k gold advantage, 1 to 2, but it's not critical at this point. Yone is pretty strong, but Azir is not that far behind. As we see, it's a 7 to 600 gold difference. Bottom lane, there is another 500 gold difference for the Zeri, but overall, it's pretty even, and the other big difference is in the jungle for the Maokai getting the first item. Now, Zeri is the only champion with 2 items, so ET does start the Drake first. They are in first position. The Herald charge, the Herald is just mid. They will get first tier 1 mid. They're gonna get the second charge, but is ET gonna look for a fight? It is. The ultimate comes in. The Alistar getting super low, and Sourcewalker does die as well pretty fast. Muffy Man's gonna go next. A lot of damage coming from the Swain. Shadow Frost trying to do some damage. The ultimate gets 2-man ultimate from the Yone. It's a double kill on the Yone. It's an ace for TE. The 2 items on the Zeri makes a difference. The Yone makes a difference as the power spikes for ET is still not good enough. They're gonna secure a first tier 1 mid, probably tier 1 bot as well. So it's gonna be a huge play for TE. Gonna extend that lead from 1 to possibly 4 to 5k go now. As not only they take kills, but they also take the objectives. So it was 3 turrets just for 1 Drake, 1 Chemtech Drake. But now things are looking really bad as they also cleaning up all the jungle from ET, Penumbral. And the goats piling up and decreasing as the Yone is now getting again an advantage over the Azir. The Azir still doesn't have 2 items. We see Vayne going for that Trinity Force as second item. So they will need to find a way to buy time as we see a 5.5k gold lead. So massive lead out of that fight. And we are starting to see some level advantage. There's one. It's nearly 2 levels of advantage on the jungle. Mid is a little even now. Actually, Azir has a little bit of experience over the Yone, but 1 level over to Zeri as well. So things are starting to look dicey for ET. Nice hook there by Flimsy Fence, getting on the E-cast by the Ornn. So we'll see here now. Flimsy doing a lot of damage on the wheel map. Food just free damage as he has Rylai's. So now Azir getting his passive turret, doing some damage on the killer guy, he gets the wave, but he's gonna use the shuffle. The ultimate misses, but the flash comes in, double flash. It's the healer guy goes for another solo Q, although played really well initially, Super Shakes, dodging the skills, but it's not enough. The damage is there for the killer guy with 2 items. Now it's going to be a 3v3. Flash ultimate gets exploded. Silent Frost. The knockup from Source Walker does not get it. Gets stopped by the Maokai. The slow comes in. The knockback is going to be a Q for Blaze, and TE is going to go for the Jerk Baron play. 2 items, Yone versus 1 item and a half at 0. It's not looking good yet. Yone just waited for that turret to drop so he can actually fight. They go evenly, and they do, although it was a really close call, they do, Killer Guy does get a solo kill, another solo kill onto Silver Shakes. And now Will Food is looking around. He has the smite, he has flash. It's night, he's gonna see now. He flashes in, and he almost steals the Baron. He goes in, the Baron had like 50 health. Now the ultimate comes in. Tabula Rasa is going to drop the Super Shakes 400 gold, but now TP from Yone. He gets a knockup, kills. He gets a double kill on the Ornn. Silent Frost goes down for CJ. Killer Guy is around. He's going to get a triple kill on Source Walker. Gets the triple kill, and he's a 10-0-4 Yone. Extremely fed. He's going to go for his 3rd item sometime really soon. EG does get 1 Q, so they remove 1 Baron out of the picture, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, 2 Barons, because Alistar did die before. So they removed 2 Barons out of the picture, but things are not looking good. The lead just keeps extending for TE. They're gonna get tier 1 top. There is tier 2 in both side lanes, so that's free 1200 gold. Drake in about 5 seconds. He has a lot of vision on the bottom side, so they will know when and from where ET is coming from. Now the Azir went straight for the Rabadon's death cap, so he's gonna have a huge power spike in terms of damage, but he does not have a lot of survivability. He just have the raw power from that death cap. Vayne does have 2 items with Trinity Force. We see here, probably I think it's a Rage Blade. Yeah, I think it's no Rapid Fire. Is it Rapid Fire cannon? I feel like it's a Rapid Fire cannon with that build. Extra gold bounty on the top side, secured by Wilmath for food. They are trading bottom tier 2 as they're gonna try here. Now Flamesy is gonna do a 2v1 here. He ults, it goes in with the realize double knock up with the ultimate. Source Walk managed to walk away. Wilmath for food might need to pay the price with his ultimate and his life. But yeah, and he's gonna pay the price as he will go down. Then Flamesy Friends has TP. Wilmath for food does get a lot of time though out of that swing ult, and the bottom tier 2 does drop. Yone is here. Shining Frost taking a lot of damage that goes into the Alistar. He tanks a lot, survives the ultimate from Tabula Rasa. The Azir is doing a lot of damage here on Tabula Rasa, but she also doing a lot of damage back. The Yone did not go in with his ultimate. They stopped for a while. They managed to survive. They don't get a kill, but they will be able to hand off tier 3 turrets for now, as the Swain may be able to take tier 2 top for that extra 600 gold. So T again didn't have a strong early as game 1, but still had a pretty good they had a lot of good attempts in the mid lane for the early with the Alistar. Their mid game was pretty impeccable. Their team fight was pretty good. The rotations and the vision control also pretty impeccable as well. Now they're looking for these late game stages. We'll see how things are looking for them. They're sitting on a 3 item on this Maokai with Radiant Virtual and the Abyssal Mask. Now we see a 3 item Yone with the Shield Bowl and probably going with the extra septic uh, septic vampire or vampire vampiric scepter. He's probably gonna go for the blood tercer. He takes a lot of damage. The turret goes down. Buffer foot was up. He's going to survive with the ghost. Now Azir's ult comes in. The Maokai's ult was there as well, but nothing happens. No fights yet. Muffman is looking. They get some vision with the far side, but TE is just falling back as Swain's pushing bot. Uh, ET did ping a little bit on this top side, but they fall back. Now, TE is just pushing waves and getting the jungle camps, keeping this J4 further and further behind the Maokai and keeping him as solely as an extra minion that has the only capability of knock up and using Cataclysm, which is not really good into this comp per se because Zeri goes out, the Yone has the ability to go out, Swain wants you to come in, Alistar kind of wants you to come in, and the Maokai has some ability to deal with it. So ET just trying to slow down, but I think mainly because TE, Tenebra's Obsidian, they don't want to force anything with the barrier coming up in 20 seconds. So they just want to secure vision, keep the vision game up, see where Penumbral is coming from, so they know like when to attack, how to attack, and keep ET always guessing like where they're coming from, what's happening, are they doing it? Because this next barrier is going to be really important. And TE is going to start right at spawn as ET is going to push mid, and they might look to invade here the river, but it's pretty much over. No, they just focus on the mid lane, try to get an extra gold. The Alistar ults and they're going to look for a knock-up. Goes a flash Q on Super Saiyan. He flashes back as well. The ultimate from Maokai stops the front line. Super 6 gets knocked up, gets 3-man knocked up, gets a big Shurima shuffle, but does not do much damage as Shining Frost also gets one-shotted. It's a double Q for Swain and possibly game as ET tried to go in for mid and they got engaged and everybody dropped. Source Walker had flash, Tyler also had flash, but they didn't have the reaction or they didn't see, they didn't have the thought that they would just get destroyed like that. Now Sewer Shakes is home by himself. He's gonna get rooted, gonna get pulled, knocked up. Source Walker comes in, and TE is going to clinch this game too with a strong mid to late game performance. And TE goes in for the 2-0. Unfortunately for ET, Penumbral, the boys will take the first loss and be on the hang of that elimination. TE is going to go for the upper bracket right now for the qualifications for round 2 with the 1-0, and they're going to be looking to fight. They're going to be fighting for other teams that are sitting at 1-0, as ET is going to be playing teams that are lost on the first round. So we still have at least guaranteed another game next week that we're going to cover for ET Penumbral. And hoping they will get that win so they can go for the last week of qualifiers to fight for a last chance in the playoff uh, situation here for AML. Now looking here, the Swain dealt a lot of damage, 22k. The Maokai was impressive, 16. The killer guy was really impressive on this Yone, 1007, 18,000 damage. Zeri as well, the Tabula Rasa had a really good game overall, putting a lot of damage, 17 in the 28th minute. From the side of ETP, we see a little bit of lack of damage. Will Mufflefruit also putting up a lot of damage, keeping pressure until a certain point that he could. Silver Shakes had a good performance overall on the Azir, was able to remain a bit safer. Still dealt a lot of damage, 20k damage, but we didn't see much from Shining Frost outside that early game. He was not able to get away from the Alistar, from the Maokai, um, so he was not able to do much outside that, and the J4 as well. had a really good early game, had some good plays, but they weren't able to do um, much more after mid game started. So rough game. It was a tough game for sure, and TE definitely deserved the win. And with that in mind, we are going to end here for the night. I do appreciate everybody who came. Oops, I put the wrong side. Sorry. But we're gonna stay here for tonight. I'm gonna look to host or actually to raid someone um, here that I can find. So again, well played, and for both teams. We'll see you guys next week to see whoever ETP is gonna face, and I wish you guys good luck and good week. And stay tuned because tomorrow ET is gonna be back online for the AGL podcast for week 7, or is it week 8? I can't remember. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time to cover AGL from last Friday. So thanks again, everyone. Have a good day. Have a good night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.